exercises basically to test encircling Taiwan. Can you explain to us what your knowledge is of that? What do you think about that? Have you had any discussions with China?
Well, I have a great
that?
relationship with President Xi, and he hasn't told me anything about it. I don't believe he's going to be doing it. No, nothing worries me. Nothing.
China-US relations are one of the most important bilateral relationships in the world today. The two countries' strategic choices influence the direction of world history. Cooperation between China and the US benefits both. Confrontation hurts both. Saying one thing and doing another is unacceptable. China and the US must seek ways to address each other's concerns on the basis of equality, respect, and reciprocity. We must explore the right way for two major countries to get along with each other.
Starting from December 29th, China carried out its largest ever military exercises encircling Taiwan. On December 30th, the second day of the massive drills, Beijing conducted nearly 10 hours of live-fire exercises around the island, Reuters reported. The operation was codenamed Justice Mission 2025. China launched rockets into waters near Taiwan, unveiled new amphibious assault vessels, and brushed aside the possibility of U.S. or Allied intervention to stop a future move by Beijing to seize the island, as it staged its most expansive military exercises yet. As part of exercises simulating a blockade, China's Eastern Theater Command carried out around 10 hours of live fire drills, firing rockets into waters north and south of the democratically governed island. Chinese naval and air force units also rehearsed strikes on sea and air targets and conducted anti-submarine drills. Since early morning, Taiwan detected at least 70 Chinese warplanes, 11 Navy ships, and 14 Coast Guard vessels, with some missiles landing closer than before, including inside the 24 nautical mile contiguous zone on December 30th. This followed sightings of 130 aircraft, 28 ships, amphibious assault vessels, and a surveillance balloon in the 24 hours. China blamed Taiwan's ruling Democratic Progressive Party for pushing a separatist agenda. China's foreign ministry spokesperson said the People's Liberation Army's Justice Mission 2025 drills near Taiwan were intended as a punitive and deterrent response to forces pursuing Taiwan independence through military buildup.
Starting from this morning, the PLA Eastern Theater Command is conducting drills in areas near the Taiwan island. Some said the drills are carried out in response to the $11.1 billion of arms sales to Taiwan announced by the U.S. this month. What's your comment? The spokesperson of the PLA Eastern Theater Command has made an announcement of the military drills. The PLA military exercise is a severe punishment against Taiwan independent separatist forces' attempt of seeking independence through military buildup and a necessary action to safeguard China's national sovereignty and territorial integrity. Let me stress that the DPP authorities are hell-bent on seeking Taiwan independence, attempt to solicit U.S. support for that agenda, and even risk turning Taiwan into a powder keg and an ammunition depot. Such attempt fully reveals that the DPP authorities are the one who destroys peace, creates crises, and stokes warfare. The external forces' attempt of using Taiwan to contain China and arming Taiwan will only embolden the Taiwan independent separatists and push the Taiwan Strait toward the danger of military conflict. The Taiwan question is at the core of China's core interests. China is firmly resolved in defending its national sovereignty, security, and territorial integrity. Any egregious move of crossing the line and making provocations on the Taiwan question will face a resolute head-on blow from China. And any ill-intentioned attempt of stopping China's reunification is doomed to fail.
Taiwan's defense ministry said China fired dozens of rockets into nearby waters during expanded drills on December 30th and accused Beijing of trying to normalize military coercion. About 27 rockets were launched, and according to the spokesperson, the exercises had sparked strong resentment from Taipei.
There have been videos released, including those showing J-16 fighter jets, and as for Taiwan, not to mention, this has affected international flight safety. From 9 a.m. to 1 p.m., what we have gathered is that the PLA from Fujian conducted artillery fire and carried out operations toward our northern area, specifically the first exercise zone that everyone has seen, which is located north of Keelung. In addition, there is also the third zone, which is located west of Tainan and Kaohsiung. In this third zone, multiple rocket launches were carried out. According to our data, a total of about 27 rockets were fired. From a military perspective, or in terms of military psychology, the purpose of this PLA exercise is precisely to achieve this effect. So I also won't consider the exercise to be truly over just because they announced its conclusion. Therefore, this targeted military drill is not only meant to intimidate Taiwan, but also seriously affects international aviation safety. According to the data released by the Civil Aeronautics Administration of the Ministry of Transportation, today, the number of flights passing through our flight information region that were affected is 941. Or any slackening in our performance. This is something we will absolutely not allow. As for the military strength involved, it may not necessarily be the largest, but each time the scale of their exercises gets bigger and bigger, and they're conducted right at our doorstep. I think the message they're trying to send is very clear. They regard the Taiwan Strait as their internal waters. This is the main message they want to declare and announce, and they also hope that our people, or the outside world, will see this as something natural and taken for granted. I think for those of us present here, if you ask us what kind of effect they are trying to achieve, disgust might be a rather polite way to put it.
The Justice Mission 2025 drills began 11 days after the United States unveiled a record $11.1 billion arms package for Taiwan, which drew anger from China's defense ministry and warnings that the military would take forceful measures in response. For the first time, Beijing said the exercises were intended to deter external intervention, while its rhetoric on Taiwan has sharpened since Japanese Prime Minister Sanae Takaichi voiced support for Taiwan and said a potential attack on the island could draw a military response from Tokyo.
Any external forces that attempt to intervene in the Taiwan issue or interfere in China's internal affairs will surely smash their heads bloody against the iron walls of the Chinese People's Liberation Army.
China's Taiwan Affairs Office said in a statement on December 29th, the primary audience of this week's drills was really the United States, Donald Trump, and Japan, more than the people of Taiwan. Susan Shirk, a former U.S. Deputy Assistant Secretary of State, told the BBC. It's an expression of resolve and anger over U.S. arms sales, which now cover not just defensive systems, but also offensive weapons capable of striking the Chinese mainland, she added. While China's latest drills are a clear message to the U.S. that don't poke your nose in Taiwan matters, U.S. President Donald Trump completely downplayed China's drills encircling the island. Speaking alongside Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, Trump said President Xi Jinping had not raised the issue with him. He added that the drills did not concern him and noted that China has conducted naval exercises in the region for decades. Nothing worries me. China has been doing naval exercises for 20 years in that area. These were the president's exact words.
Exercises basically to test encircling Taiwan. Can you explain to us what your knowledge is of that? What do you think about that? Have you had any discussions with China
Well, I have a
about
great
that?
relationship with President Xi, and he hasn't told me anything about it. I certainly have seen it, but he hasn't told me anything about it, and I don't believe he's going to be doing it.
Does it worry you?
No, nothing worries me.
But
Nothing.
You said where there's smoke, there's fire, right? So if you're doing naval exercises and air exercises.
Well, they've been doing naval exercises for 20 years. in that area. Now people take it a little bit differently, but in fact, larger than they're doing right now. So we'll see. But they've been doing that for 20, 25 years.
After Trump downplayed concerns over Chinese drills and ignored China's warning, China's Foreign Minister Wang Yi said on December 30th that China-US ties are among the world's most critical relationships, and that the strategic choices made by China and the US will impact the direction of world history. He stressed that stable and beneficial relations depend on mutual respect, peaceful coexistence, and win-win cooperation. Wang warned that confrontation harms both sides and urged dialogue based on equality, reciprocity, and mutual trust. The statement served as a pointed reminder to Washington after Trump brushed aside concerns over the drills.
China-US relations are one of the most important bilateral relationships in the world today. The two countries' strategic choices influence the direction of world history. Over the past year, the development of China-US relations has proven in practice. Can we achieve mutual respect and peaceful coexistence? Win-win cooperation is the key to whether China-US relations can develop steadily and benefit the world. Cooperation between China and the US benefits both. Confrontation hurts both. Looking down from a position of superiority won't work. Saying one thing and doing another is unacceptable. China and the US must seek ways to address each other's concerns on the basis of equality, respect, and reciprocity. We must explore the right way for two major countries to get along with each other.